voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117, and you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
You're talking about
right there, man.
talking to the fucking
The
movie king
guru.
over here.
Oh, movie king. Well, shout out to the movie king, but also shout out to the chat. What is going on, people? Next podcast is live. That is right. And I hope you heard that. Yo, I got to say, first off, shout out to Steve Downs. For people who don't know, he is the voice of Master Chief. And shout out to Four Guys with Quarters, Italian Clowns and all them over on that YouTube channel, man. Their interviews are absolutely insane. And Clowns invited me back for round 2, which was today. And we got to interview the man, the myth, the legend, the voice of Master Chief, Steve Downs, again today. And it was a lot of fun. And I got to say, shout out to those guys, man. It was a blast. It was an absolute blast. And yeah, he hooked us up, guys. So we got the voice of Master Chief at the beginning of the intro. Like, how Xbox is that? That is so Xbox. But guys, we have an amazing show lined up for you guys. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of gaming news. Probably so much that we probably can't fit it all in. All the topics that happen throughout the week, but we picked some of the best for you guys, and we are definitely going to let our opinions be known, but we got to get through the intros first. So I'm going to go to the Lone Star State first. That's right. We are traveling over there to Texas, where I hear everything is bigger, which is why this man and his ego probably live there. Of course, I am talking about Predator. What is up, brother? Okay, awesome. Pred, are you there?
At all?
Pred sounded like an old Spanish woman for a second. Oh, guys, we are happy to have Pred on, and I know you guys are probably happy to have Pred on. I don't know if he's happy to be here, so we will move on to the next guy. We're gonna go. Yo, let's stay in the middle of the country, man. Let's stay in the heartland, and let's go to the man who is coming live from the 405. Of course, he has been here from the beginning, and it's strictly to talk to the intelligent gamers out there. K-Mega, what is going on, bro?
What's going on, man? Congratulations on the intro, the little voiceover for the intro. That's pretty hot. That's really dope. I'm going to make sure that I try to get me somebody from Team Osiris. I got to make this happen, hopefully.
Well, to let you know, Steve Downs, he is a Locke fan, by the way. He loved what I forgot the name of the actor. He loved how he formed that character and stuff like that. So just to let you know, Master Chief is down with Locke, bro.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, because Locke saved Chief's life. That's what a lot of these fake ass. Well, anyway, I'm not going to do that. We're going to have a joyous show.
Like,
but anyway,
you're in intros, man.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying that But if you didn't know, Locke, Team Osiris saved Master Chief and Blue Team. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Infinite. But yeah, it's going to be a good show, man. A lot of good topics tonight. Ready to get to it, man.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Nice, brother. And from there, we are going to go all the way to the West Coast. That's right. We got to get to him quick because we never know. Like, the state he lives in could be underwater at any minute. And of course, I am talking about my brother, Dark Optimus. What is up, bro?
What's up, man? Happy to be here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we got to get into it.
Dude, you only want to talk about Life is Strange. Let's be real.
Maybe.
We'll
see.
Okay, well, it's gonna be interesting. And of course, we got to come up here to New England, where we are battling just one more day of 40-degree weather before it's gonna start hitting the 50s and 60s. And I know this man is. I'm happy about it, but this man is happy about it also. And you know him as the man who drops that hashtag crispy truth, crispy bomb. What is up, bro?
Oh, what is up, chat? What is up, everyone that will be listening to this later? And let me tell you, these topics have just fallen into our lap, and hopefully we get to them all, but it might be 3 hours later. I don't know, but all I know is I'm ready to go, and I mean, Xbox doing a show with 100 games. I mean, come on, man. What the hell's going on here? But let's go.
We are definitely gonna get into that, bro. And we can't go 3 hours, man. I gotta work tomorrow. I'm just saying we can't do it. Yeah. Is Predator back yet? Predator, if you are talking, we cannot hear you. I just want to let you know that. And so while that is going on, let me do a couple shout outs for Super Chats here. The Super Chats have begun, people. Yo, shout out to Shiesty Gaming hitting up that Super Chat. And yes, he says Super Chat works, people. Yo, doggy, I think somebody's trying to take your job right there, man. But shout out to Shiesty. I've known Shiesty for a long time, man. A long time out here in the gaming community. It is good to see you back here, brother. Shout out to Doggy Dog 420. He said, happy Thursday, panel and chat. Next podcast is fire. That is right, bro. I have to agree with you 110%, bro. Thank you so much for the support. Let's get into Square Enix Presents then. Square did a show today. I wasn't expecting too much. There was one thing I wanted to see. There was one announcement I wanted to see, and unfortunately, we didn't get it. But who on the panel actually checked out the Square Enix live stream today?
Ooh, me.
Would that be Dark?
That would be me.
That would be Dark. Yo, Dark, what up, bro?
What's up, dude?
Dude, so when it came down to it, man, they had a couple announcements, a couple things that I didn't know was going on. I gotta ask you, man, what did you think about the show as a whole? We kind of do this with every show that comes out. We you know the tempo, kind of like how they dished out the information, all that good stuff. What did you think about the show as a whole, man?
I think as a whole, like I went into it not expecting anything, and I was actually not disappointed. I wasn't disappointed at all. I watched it and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's awesome. I was really like, what I was expecting was something for the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider. We got some news on that, like what they're gonna do for the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider. We got Life is Strange, which Life is Strange, the new Life is Strange. We got. I wasn't expecting anything from Project Athea, but we did get some good stuff there. The gameplay looked really good, and the name I'm not too hot about. It like you said earlier before we started the show, it does sound like somebody trying to be smart, but they're really not being
somebody
smart.
Trying to talk intelligent, but doesn't know what's going on.
Right, exactly.
Dude, let people know what is the name for people who haven't checked it out, man. We gotta let them know.
It's called Forspoken.
Forspoken. Like, can you imagine somebody coming in? It was Forspoken, and you're like, no, dude, shut up. Get back to your desk.
I feel like it's like like the olden times of America when they're like 70 years ago, it was Forspoken. I'm just sitting there like, okay,
just wait till
it was like but the gameplay though, man, that gameplay looks really good. So, but that's the thing. Like, I mean, we've seen gameplay for games before, and oh, there's Fred. It's working.
Back.
But we've seen gameplay before, and we were like, "Oh man, that looks great," and then the game comes out, and it's really not as great as we thought it was going to be. So I'm not getting my hopes up too much about that game. But showing off Life is Strange, True Colors, which is awesome. But the best part about that is that it's coming out in September, and it's non-episodic. So
Oh, see, I
that's
didn't even pick up
even
on that.
better. So that means we get the full game instead of having to wait for episodes to come out, which is awesome. The only thing is that this game is actually a lot more expensive than the other Life is Strange games. It's actually $60 instead of the normal, like, I think 30 or $40. So I'm hoping. I mean, they get away with putting out $60 games and being half-assed, but I'm hoping that this game is a full, like maybe 20 or 30 hours, but we'll see when the game actually comes out.
But dude, do you
Which
think
is
does that have a chance to hurt that game, because the audience is used kind of like to the smaller games that come in smaller chunks for the episodic nature at cheaper prices. Do you think that the full $60 retail
it
has a chance to
it
hurt it?
it's very possible. I mean, but I think if you're a huge fan of Life is Strange and you like
Like Dark
that
is.
type of game, I think you will probably give it a chance, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna see what it's all about. I mean, the premise of it, I like it. I like that you're going back to being a character that actually has powers, unlike Life is Strange 2, where you didn't have any powers. Your little brother did, but you, as the character that you play as, did not. So it was kind of like it wasn't as good. I mean, it touched on some really
He said touched.
on some really pivotal moments in our society right now. So, in that first one and that second one. So that was interesting, but I like this one. I think I'm gonna like this one more because it's more it feels more like a murder mystery kind of thing. If you didn't see the show, you guys should go back and at least watch the True Life is Strange thing. If you
The
enjoyed Life
trailer
is
and kind
Strange,
of like the story breakdown where
right?
the sister, I forgot her name, she was in foster care for 8 years. So
Yeah,
she must have went in when she was 10, because usually you get out when you're 18. You know what I'm
right,
saying? And so she went to go, I guess, live with her older brother, and everything was cool. He's
right.
living in this really cool town called Haven. Everybody likes him and all, and then all of a sudden like he dies.
Yeah,
And there's this whole question on whether or not he was murdered or something like that. And of course,
right.
his sister is what they call an empath. Now, empaths, they can feel other people's feelings and stuff like that, and that is her kind of like power. She can see auras around people, and she can read their feelings and where the source
Yep.
of their feelings are coming from.
Which is really interesting. So I'm kind of excited to see where they take that, and I think the game is going to be really good. So we'll see. It's not Don't Nod, so it's not from that same studio, but it is the studio that made Before the Storm. So that'll be interesting because Before the Storm was actually pretty good. So I think I have faith in Deck 9 to do the game justice, or the series justice. So
All right, and for people wondering why I'm hanging with Dark as he's talking about this, I'm pretty sure nobody else on the panel is going to talk about Life is Strange.
right, yeah, because nobody else cares about that. I mean, I understand.
Nobody else gives a shit, man. Yeah, no, not for real.
It's understandable.
If it's
It
your
really
cup of tea, it's your cup of tea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I prefer coffee. I got my coffee light and sweet right here to the right of me. But Anything else, man? Anything else about that show that you liked or disliked or whatnot? Because there's a couple. The two main things that I liked about it, you haven't even said. So this is interesting.
Yeah, he blew his load on life.
Yeah, he really did, man. I hope. I
Yeah,
hope
he let it happen.
I hope you had some tissues or something, man. Like,
Oh
I-
man, this would be the
I-
perfect time, wouldn't it? Hold on.
I raw dogged it.
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't you dare, dude. No. See, it's too late. It's too late. It's past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that window.
other than Life is
It's like a
Strange
fart in the wind.
and Forspoken, there really wasn't much that I was like, oh, okay, that I want to invest time into. So, but other than that,
You are obviously not a T'Challa fan. So that's all I gotta say.
I mean, I didn't like Marvel's Avengers anyways, and I'm probably not gonna go back and play it. So
That reveal was fire.
It was cool, yeah.
brother.
I'll give you
Fire.
that. It was cool.
And
but-
his costume looked incredible, bro. Oh my goodness. The best, easily the best looking Avenger in the Avengers game right now is Black Panther. But okay, all right. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna move on to the next panel member, bro.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Let's see here. Yo, Pred.
Yeah.
Yo, where are you? You're like down the hallway, like.
Way back here in the back.
Yeah. You must have been the one that was talking about Forspoken. Yeah, they sent you to the back of the classroom. Yeah. Fred, did you get a chance to check out Square Enix Presents, bro?
I didn't actually watch it. For some strange reason, I don't know why I thought that it came on an hour. It came on. I basically logged in and tried to watch it when it was ending. So like, I didn't know. I guess I was off. I've been busy at work and shit too, so I missed it. But I did follow up on everything and see what was going on in the show. And Life is Strange for dark. Yeah, jack off to that. That's fine. I did like the reveal.
Wow.
Of the Avengers. Black Panther, I thought was pretty cool. It's just, a way to save face for that game to get some people to come back into it, because some people probably will definitely jump into it for Black Panther and then just throw it in the trash
Dude,
again.
and the
afterwards.
Maestro as well. The Maestro, dude. Oh,
Ooh,
man.
Yeah, that guy. But I don't say that game's dead. Like, you can keep adding content to it and keep people in it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why people left it, because it didn't have content. So there you go. What else? There really wasn't. I really didn't get a lot out of the show, to be honest with you.
Dude, what about the breakdown to Outriders?
I think enough people have played that. They're just waiting on it to come out at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know it's coming, so now we're just like, okay, hurry up, so we can play the whole game and not have to, because we're gonna, how it goes when you get these betas. You build this character up, you think it's awesome, and you get to carry none of that shit over. So like, I didn't get too far into it. I know some people like they play this shit like religiously. I stopped at a certain point because I knew that if I was going to pick it up, that I would have to start all over again with a new character from scratch.
Well, I think you get to
actually,
keep
you
your
don't
stuff.
have.
No, you can keep it.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can?
Yeah,
Oh,
and the
because I stopped playing it a long time ago.
and then also the demo is going to continue to keep going. They're not going to ever just take it off. So you can just keep on letting your character build up.
Yeah, I think there's like there's like 10 legendary weapons that you can get from the demo. Not all of them are available at in the demo, but you can get a nice
Interesting.
chunk.
I didn't know that. I would have played a little bit more. I didn't know that, but cool. I guess I'm just waiting on the full release of the game. That's just me. But what else did they talk about?
They talked about mobile games. There's
No, you'll talk about that. I saw that too.
there's a mobile Hitman like sniper game coming out.
Didn't they do some Tomb Raider stuff too?
Yeah, they did the 25th anniversary Tomb Raider.
Let's play it out now too. I guess with Tomb Raider, like I've played them all. From what I saw, I didn't watch the show, but from what I saw and skimmed over, it seemed like it's just Tomb Raider, just now one big package versus 3 separate discs or whatever. They didn't do anything special to the game though, like other than giving you all the DLC with the price of the game. the collection. Like they didn't upres or anything like that, or am I missing something?
No, they
Yeah, so, I
didn't.
mean,
They did
yeah.
that on Avengers though, for free upgrade with Avengers. Improved textures, 4K, 60 frames per second.
But you gotta do some
All
weird
that
shit
goodness.
on PlayStation to get that to work, don't you?
Yeah, you gotta do some like, yeah, it's weird.
You heard Crispy's laugh in the background. That was just so evil. He's like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping for some bigger news, but I mean, we're getting to that point where E3's or whatever the hell they're gonna call it this year is like right around the corner. So, we'll start getting these little leaks and little drops and little slow drips between now and then. So, just prepare yourself for it as we go forward. Square went first, so they got their shit out of the way. They blew their load, so
All right.
I'm good. Square's cool.
All right. Well, I do have to say that the whole Outriders thing, they went into more detail, kind of like of, the expeditions. A couple cool things I didn't know. You bring a convoy with you when you go into co-op. You bring this line of trucks with you, and you can customize those trucks, and you can literally use the bones of major enemies and stuff like that to decorate your convoy and bring it with you into other people's games. So you can literally show off the enemies you have taken out with their skulls and stuff hanging from your trucks as you roll in. Dude, that sounds insane to me. The more and more I hear about this game Outriders, which we will be talking about as one of the topics as well, the more and more I hear of this, all the little details and stuff are adding up to get me kind of excited about this, man. And again, it's not a games as a service, so I have a feeling they're thinking about DLC and stuff like that down the line. But yo, Crispy, what did you check out when it came to the Square Enix Presents? Did you watch this thing, bro?
Well, I watched Outriders. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's all I cared about. That's all I cared about after that.
Dude, did you see what I was talking about with the convoy?
Yeah, dude, and yes, when they said the bones or the skeleton of your enemies, I was like, ooh, that's it. Well, I mean, being a gearhead, it and the third person view and everything else, I'm like, oh wait, but this is kind of a looter, but not really a looter because they're not really trying to get any microtransactions.
What did they call it at the beginning? They called it shooter RPG, something like that.
Close to that. Yeah, they called something like that, and I was like, so you're not making it oh, you got to pay money to have this and that. No, you can actually earn it. And don't get me wrong, every game has kind of skewed these words, and it's all of a sudden they have you can buy this if you want, but some games do it right, and they're you can earn it, or you can pay $20. You know what I mean? And if you pay $20, it's could I have earned that in 2.5, 3 hours? Could I have done that? So it's one of those things if they're not going full on Fortnite, as we like to call it, you know what I mean? Can they establish the importance of DLC and stuff like that, which you might have to pay for? And we used to complain about this. Really started for me with Gears 3, big time. And you had to pay for the DLC or you had the season pass. But what happened to season passes now? Now we're in such a rabbit hole at this point that you don't even remember when you had to pay for a season pass, and it's actually more logical than doing anything else.
I think we're in a rabbit hole where even my golf game has a season pass now that I do pay for.
Yeah, but your season pass still doesn't give you some of the things that are bought. Remember when the season passes actually gave you everything? You remember that? I remember.
They give you the chance
berries
to get everything now.
No, yeah. Well, you have the season pass, so then you can buy this. So you still have to buy it. I remember the days when a season pass gave you everything, all the skins, all the cosmetics, all of those things, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is actually worth it. And nowadays it's like, well, man, I got to pay $20 for this skin I really want, or this character I really want, or whatever it may be. And it's like, dude, can you stop? I already paid $70 for this game or $60 for this game. Like, can you let me? Or I paid $100 with the season pass, and I still don't get half of the things that I really want. That's bullshit.
Can you stop milking my wallet, please?
Yeah, I know. It's like sucking on titty.
Wow.
See, I was waiting for Brad to do that. But yeah, dude, like, Outriders is my jam just because of the way they're treating the game right now. They're leaving it in like a demo state. They're letting people earn stuff. Like, this reminds me of some of the games I played, and they've kind of failed at some point, like Division 1. Like, they did this kind of the same thing, and I was already leveled up before everybody else. But at the same time, the game was so broken that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen with Outriders.
I got you, man. But did you think what they showed looked good? Because I saw more. It was more in depth in terms of what's going on. Talking about the expeditions as well, kind of like for the most hardened of the people who play the game. I don't know. It really looks good to me, bro.
Well, it looks good to me too. I mean, they're using a formula that's tried and true, which is the Gears formula, and they're putting like Destiny-esque mechanics in there, and on top of that, you got to realize that the cover-based system is similar to Gears completely, so that puts a different realm. And this would make some people actually like Gears, probably, to be honest with you, because they see the loot, they see the legendaries or whatever, and that's what they go after. But they don't realize that they're doing the same things, the same movement, just against NPCs or whatever. And you could literally take that and play Gears, and a lot of people don't understand that. I've watched enough streams that it's very, if not identical to a Gears movement system. It's just, it has hiccups, which it's a demo. So what can we really say? Can we be like mad about it? Or they gave you a demo and it's for free right now. And that's the way you got to look at it, in my opinion.
Yeah, at least they gave you a demo. Some games don't even give you a demo, or they don't even let you keep, especially like when betas come out. They just give you the beta for like a week, for like a weekend, and that's it, At least this game, they give you a full, experience that can go on for, well, not a full experience, but a full, demo that you can play whenever you want.
Yo, Predator, you are absolutely right. He's like Crispy, always sneaking Gears into the convo. Although with People Can Fly developing this game, it was an easier transition than normal. Like when you talk to Crispy about like Forza or something, and somehow he brings Gears into it, and you're like, yo, how did he do that? Like, how did that happen? How did he make a connection there? But this one was a little bit easier for him, right?
Well,
It was a little easier for you, man.
I mean, people who can fly developed Bulletstorm right before they co-developed Judgment. Judgment was basically built mechanically by people who can fly and rebuilt, because Judgment was actually supposed to be a next-gen title. A lot of people don't realize that. And the only reason why they didn't do that is because of the same situation we're in right now, is they didn't want to leave millions of people behind. And that was an Epic decision, not a People Who Can Fly decision. On top of that, they changed the multiplayer, and they only allowed you to hold one gun, okay, which became a problem. The mechanics of the game were almost identical, yet faster paced and very fluid on Judgment. The problem was is they made choices with your gun selection and everything else
This isn't a
that-
Gears topic. Just let it go.
that piss people off. So when I hear people who can fly actually developed
Get back in.
and
There you go.
only Square Enix published the game and didn't touch it, basically people who can fly made the game. The point is that it has Gears mechanics, which were far better in my opinion than any Gears I played. The problem is that they made choices that were very bad.
Very bad. Bad. People can fly. Very bad. Very bad for doing those decisions. K Mega, did you get a chance to check out anything from Square Enix Presents?
Yes, I did.
All right, man. What did you check out? What are your thoughts? Let us know, bro.
I thought that the hood thing, because I mean I did a quick run through. I did see the hood ornaments, or the ornaments that of like the creatures that you take out, or
Bro.
some stuff that look pretty wicked.
That's fire right there.
Also, Outriders, there's a class, which is it Technomancer, which looks pretty interesting. I don't even remember about the Devastator or whatever.
Yeah, all of them are in the demo, so you can pick them.
Is Technomancers in there? I don't know.
Yeah,
they're all in the
long
demo.
range.
They're all four of them. Oh, okay, all right. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't remember seeing this Technomancer, but see, I'm a trickster, so and I think
Yes,
everybody
brother.
picked trickster. So I'm going to probably start over and change and pick one of these other ones. But yeah, I enjoy the game a lot. I'm gonna probably just go in and get ready to know Life It here pretty soon, because it's getting ready to drop. It says on the 1st, but I think you can get it early on the 31st. But I'm not game passing this one. I'm buying this one. This game I've been talking about. I've been stoked about for a while, and I've been really excited about it. So that's definitely on the list. I got all the Tomb Raiders and all the DLC in every last one of them. So I mean, it was a really good collection. If you haven't played any of the Tomb Raiders, I still think that the first Tomb Raider reboot and Shadow of the Tomb Raider is my favorites. I love Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I know a lot of people like the other one, the second one, better.
See, I don't like the second one because like there wasn't too many. I like the supernatural kind of like aspects in the first and the third one. You know what I'm saying?
It was just too much Arctic for me, but I enjoyed it. It was just too much. It was too Arctic, and then when you got into that Lost City and all that stuff, it kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I liked it, but I still think the first one and the last one is the best. A lot of people, because I think that especially the puzzles in the third one was absolutely outstanding. They're just so good. Yeah, no, I mean, I already got those games, so it's really not anything that I could be going to try to go back and get. Now, something that caught my attention was because I've been waiting to get this game because I played it when it was on Game Pass, and I'm like, man, this price though, the price ain't right for me, which was Just Cause. So when they were showing they were showing all these people doing all this Just Cause stuff, I was like, whoa, are they going to have an online Just Cause game? I'll be all for that. And then it come to be as a mobile game. I was like, oh, bro. Because I was like, what? I got hyped about that. Then it was a mobile game. I was like, Then another little game that they showed that I used to play a lot with my friend and his wife was the Bobble Bubble.
Bubble Bobble. Dude,
Bubble
I
Bobble,
love
yeah.
that game, yo.
Love that game. Love it. Real fun. And but this new version looks kind of weird. So I just kind of like, this is not what I was expecting. So I was saying, but then again, it was also with mobile as well. So I was just nah. Then the Balan Wonderland or something like that's something I'm not really interested in. It looks crazy though.
I'm not touching that shit either.
What'd you say?
I'm not touching that shit either.
Yeah, no, it's not something I'm interested in. I was like, nah, sorry. No, just not my taste. But for Spoken, looks amazing. I will definitely cop it. if by that time if I have a PlayStation 5, I'll copy for sure. If not, then I'll get it on PC. But I'm really looking forward to playing it when it comes out next year. I mean, those are the type of games. If I'm gonna get into those type of games, I wanted something that graphically it looks amazing, look like it's going to be really fun. I know that we didn't get enough of it, but just for what I seen was pretty solid. And then of course Avengers, I think I'm willing to go ahead and jump back in, give it a shot. I mean, I was ready to give it a shot when I started playing it, and then people were just dogging the hell out of it.
It could be your
and
next anthem, bro. That the Avengers you'll take
No,
the spot
no,
of that anthem, brother.
Shut your mouth. I'll go right up there to Connecticut and slap the shit out of you and then come back home. Don't you ever speak of disrespect anthem like that. But I will say this. Going back to Outriders, Outriders. I think what's going to gravitate me to that game a lot is because it reminds me so much of Borderlands. And I told you guys that I'm kind of a late adopter to the Borderlands universe. And I'm a huge fan now. So it has like those Borderland elements to it, and that I can really dig. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, no, Avengers look good, look really good. I thought looking at look at old Hulk. I forgot what his name is.
The Maestro.
Maestro,
dude, he is no joke. That dude is no joke. By the
way. And then of course when they showed the Black Panther, give a little snippet that looked crazy because I was over there looking at the comments too. Because to me that's the funnest thing to do, especially when people are like dogging out a game, because when they were just showing the Avenger game and then people kept saying, "Oh, I'm sick of this game, boo, get it out of here, boo," and then they kept showing more and more of Hawkeye getting down, and I'm like, that's looking, Hawkeye looks dope. You see his combat?
About, man?
The combat looks amazing with Hawkeye. But anyway, so they're doing their thing, and then people are saying, "I'm still not going to like the game. I'm still not going to like it. I hate it. I'm just garbage." Blah 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 blah. Right? And then all of a sudden, by the end of it, I'm still not going to play that trash game. And then when they show Black Panther, what? Hold on, wait a minute. Whoa! And then people start throwing flames and stuff. So I'm like, they might have gotten a little spark to go ahead and get people to jump back on. But they didn't give an actual date of when that game is going to come. Well, when Black Panther was going to come, but they look like they got a game plan now. So hopefully that the content and everything is going to be right, and and everything is free. So. With the upgrades and all that stuff. So that's a really good look by them.
I'm not sure about that Black Panther expansion because they called that an expansion. I'm not sure if that's free, bro.
Well, no. I didn't say the Black Panther expansion. I'm talking about everything else that they show, because they showed a timeline of the extra story mode.
Yeah,
with
Future Imperfect.
Yeah, Future Imperfect, and then the extra characters, and then all the other stuff. And then they were like reassemble. They said reassemble the story or something like that. So I don't know if that means that you can go back and you can get, and if the story might be a little different or something.
It's because you can't go back to the story if you played it already.
Oh, so they're gonna let people go back and okay, all right. Well, that's cool. That's cool then. All right. Well, that's a good look. I'm good for them for going and getting and setting it up. So I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I mean, I bought it, so I might as well give it a good run. I played about maybe 4 hours into it, but I didn't. I still didn't get to beat that story. Yeah, and I liked for what I was playing, because I thought the story aspect of it was awesome, but people just started just killing it. I'm like, wow. So, but overall, I thought the show was decent for what I seen. I think I absorbed quite a bit of it in the short time that I did, but. But Outriders is the king. I mean, I know that there's going to be other people that's excited for Spoken, but I mean that game isn't coming out until next year. So Outriders it is.
Yeah, definitely. And when it comes to Forspoken, it's funny. The gameplay wise, not that first cinematic where the chick was in the building and she's like, "Is that a dragon or what?" That's that was brand new. But the gameplay, the graphic style reminds me of when Final Fantasy 15 first got shown. The same type of like shadowing, the same type of lighting, kind of like the bigger kind of like world environment, the camera off at an angle, stuff like that. The gameplay from the short that we've seen it looks insane. Like the traversal and kind of like dashing through the air and all that good stuff looks really cool.
Looks really good, impressive. And
Yeah.
I wish I was a fan of Life is Strange. I'm just not. I just can't get into it. But I'm happy for its success, and I think we'll see more games like that. That's
That'll be in
episodic.
Game Pass, man.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, but I think the games that gets success like that, like Life is Strange. I think that they're going to go out and then take a chance at that point once they hit a certain fan base, and then they'll just give bigger, better production and all that instead of keeping it episodic. Because I think, because that's something I'm going to show my wife, and I think that she might be something that she might be interested in wanting to play. But if it's episodic, I don't think she would. But if it's all in one thing, I think she might be interested in it. Because I think this game's got good stories.
It is all in one thing.
Well, I know this last one. I'm talking about the previous ones. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you buy the Ultimate Edition, you can get the remastered of Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm.
Yeah, they did announce that as well. Dark's already waiting in line to pick that up. Yeah. But I gotta say the reveal of the Black Panther, dude, best looking Avenger in that entire game. No lie, hands down, absolutely insane. The costume looks great, man. It got me fired up for the Avengers. Shout out to my brother Vertigo Tempest, who actually bought me the Avengers game because he was playing it and he wanted more people to play with.
Mm-hmm.
He bought it around my birthday. So, it was my birthday gift or whatnot. And I feel bad. I only got like 3-4 hours into it. The story was catching me. But I just kind of drifted away from it. But to see that Black Panther reveal, it brought me right back. That and Maestro. And Maestro is free for everybody. And the upgrades, the 4K 60, the improved textures and all that, they're free as well across the board, which is the way to do it. Developers out there, that is the way to do it. Don't charge people for shit like that. I'm just saying. But yeah, no, that looked really cool. But I do want to move this on into something a little more kind of like Xbox centric, because Xbox has been killing it the last couple weeks, bro. Like, they have been absolutely insane with announcements and stuff. And we're just talking about Square Enix, and they started off with a game called Outriders. Now, this past week, it was announced that Outriders, day and date on Xbox, is going into Game Pass. So the day that the game launches, it'll be in Game Pass for people to download and play. And me personally, that announcement just came out of nowhere for me. So I'm going to start with K Mega, and Mega, I'm going to be honest with you. As you are talking, I got to run downstairs and put my slow cooker on just warm. It's been on high with that ham for a while.
So he's got to take a shit? What?
No, I just got to do that. But K Mega, I got to ask you what I got to ask you what you think about, the whole Outriders going into Game Pass day and date, and like what does this mean for Xbox, for Game Pass subscribers? Because not like, dude, I'm hyped. I wanted to play it before, and I'm like, you know me, my money is tight right now. It's gonna be until I actually figure out my budget and all that good stuff. But like, I was looking at Outriders, but I was like, man, I can't afford that brand new game money. And now it's going into Game Pass, so like I'll be in there day one, bro. But what do you think about this, and what does this mean for Game Pass gamers, bro?
Well, okay, so on GRG, I had this in the background. I showed this this graph of like the history of gaming and what people and the companies and how long that they've had success and they've dominated, and then like out of nowhere a unknown company just comes out. They may have been in the game for a little bit, but then they just come out and they take over the market. Now, I understand that Xbox has been around for quite a long time. I guess for people, well, it's been around for what, about 20 years, almost 20 years, somewhere around there. So if you look at it and you take in for where the Xbox started, and now when you look and see where Xbox is headed, even when you see the Xbox One at the worst, it had its worst generation last gen. It still sold 50 to 60 plus million consoles. Still generated tons of money that like has never been done before with a console usually in third place. And now is revitalized themselves with Game Pass and then everything else that they're doing with the headphones, with the console, with XCloud, with everything else that they're doing. And so now the one thing that people were saying about Game Pass when it first came out was that, Game Pass would be viable and I would be interested in it if they would start getting new games day and date. All right. Well, they kind of just took away the exclusives that Xbox has, and just kind of put that in a bag somewhere. But now you're starting to see these games starting to come in droves, and now all of a sudden, titles that people want to play or are interested in playing are coming day and date. And that right there is the big evolution and the change of Xbox. And now it's beginning to be we've never seen, and I've since I've been in YouTube, well, doing the YouTube thing and then just paying attention to social media and listening to people's comments and stuff and reading people's comments and things like that. I don't think that Xbox has had such a high no BS moment in this little stretch that they've been. Like I'm trying to figure out, like, I mean, yeah, you could go back to the 360 but the social media wasn't as big as it is now. And I'm talking about since like since the day that the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and the Wii U was still around. At that point in time, Xbox was getting destroyed, and to see this turnaround from them when people was over here downing, even the media was dogging out Game Pass and saying that it wouldn't work and who would be for it. Now all of a sudden, you even got the media has to backtrack, and now I'm saying you have to see all of this. So this is huge for Xbox, and like I was going back to my very first point of what I was saying about that graph. Xbox could be in that position to be another American company that could take that number one spot and dominate the gaming industry with what they're doing right now. The first one was Magnavox. The next one was Atari. Xbox can be right there. PlayStation's had a long 30-year, like almost 30-year just dominance. I think it's about that time that Xbox now, since they got the backing, people might think about the 360 and say that they had the backing, but I think it was more that they had to save themselves because of the red ring of death. I think maybe Xbox would have been in a really, really big situation if they didn't have the red ring, but they had to save themselves. And so that kind of took back what they're doing. When Xbox first, the OG Xbox first came out, they just wanted to get into the game. The Xbox One was getting destroyed. They were kind of in limbo, didn't know where they want to be. Now everything is in place. They got Matt Booty, they got Sarah Bonds, they have Aaron Greenberg, they got Phil, they got even the man himself from Microsoft backing everything that Xbox is doing. I don't think we're ready to see what they got in store, because I don't think Xbox has ever had this type of budget or this type of drive since Xbox has been around. So I personally think that with this first step of what we're seeing with Xbox and Game Pass, I think it's going to be an unbelievable generation for them, where they might take things over.
Nice, man, and you're really talking up some stuff, putting them up there with like Magnavox and Atari. I do want to shout out our brother Killer Scorpion, who hit up that super chat, and he did it a little while ago, brother. I did not forget about you. And when we were talking about the coldness up here in Connecticut, he said, "Leave that frozen tundra up north." Move to Florida. And this is for everybody else. Hit that like button, people. Now, brother, I appreciate the invite. I don't know if you're talking about you have 2 empty rooms for me and my son to go live with you guys, but dude, I am adamant about not moving to Florida, bro. Nah, it'd be a great place to visit. I just don't want to live there, brother. But thank you so much for the super chat. Definitely appreciate that. Dude, I think this is absolutely huge. Shout out to my brother Mooch over on his channel, and of course he does Crossfire. One of the things he was talking about with Game Pass, and again, when it comes to him, this is nothing I haven't said to him personally. I was like, man, it just seems like you look for just anything to downplay Game Pass right now, even though you say that the value of it is great. It's great, but then you just come and you try to like hack it down a little bit after you say that. But shout out to Mooch, because one of the things he was talking about was third-party games going into Game Pass day and date, and I was a little skeptical about that happening. I do know that that's basically why Xbox grabbed all these studios that they have been grabbing, is to be self-sufficient. But to see them snag a deal with Outriders, it's a game that has been increasing in hype ever since it was announced. It just keeps getting better and better. The hype keeps building up more and more. The demo came out. People are absolutely loving it. And then to say, to announce that the game is in Game Pass on launch day, to me, that's absolutely huge. And it's going to be I'll be able to play it day one and not even think about it, because, my Game Pass Ultimate subscription is a part of my bills. Like I put that $15 per month into the budget that I've been creating and stuff like that. So it's not even, I get to play a brand new third-party game, that's already in my budget. So that is awesome to me. So I don't know. Let's go to Crispy on this one. Crispy, what did you think about this announcement, man? Did it catch you off guard? And what does this mean, in your opinion, when it comes to Xbox, man? Because they've been hitting on all cylinders lately, bro.
Well, the one thing I will say is that Outriders has done things that many games in the most recent future, I'm not saying the past, but the most recent future haven't done. And they threw a quality content of a demo out to people for nothing. Not only that, but they are going to Game Pass because I think Microsoft paid them a shit ton of money for it. Personally, they saw, the engagement on the demo and probably were like, well, let's just throw this on our platform. Now, a shit ton of money, I'm not saying it's like, something crazy for a game itself, but it probably will cover, what they projected for sales. So, their projection for sales through all the platforms is probably, I would say 20 million at the end of the day. Just to be logical after a few years and after DLC drops. Then you have Microsoft saying, hey, we'll pay you,
whatever,
half of that. I would say half to put this on Game Pass, and you get it up front. This is the strategic standpoint of Game Pass. Game Pass can go and say, you know what? This will bring more engagement, more subscribers, even if it, everybody brings up the dollar all the time. Well, guess what? Most people forget about it. And then all of a sudden they're playing another game and another game and another game. And then they're like, oh, well, this is kind of worth it because, I would have paid 30 for that, 20 for that, 60 for that. Even like, Destiny, think about that. Some people would have paid, all this money after they've already paid all this money, and they get it for, nothing. And, these third-party deals are going to come into play at some point because all I see is the actual devs that work on these games say that it brings more engagement, People actually purchase our games more, which is kind of crazy. And it's overall a good thing. And people can hate on it. They can not like it. They can say it's wrong. I'm hearing it not just from one dev, but another dev and another dev. And yes, it's through Twitter, but these people are verified. They are developers on these games. Why would they lie? Why would they put their job in jeopardy for no freaking reason? And that's where I go and say, you know what? You can hate it, but as far as being a gamer, I love it. I can go and say $15. Well, shit, Outriders is here. I was stoked. I was like, man, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I love Game Pass. And you know what? I find that show on Netflix or something like that. And I'm like, this is why I purchased this. You know what I mean? And it's not all the time, but when you have so many developers under one wing, it's like the anticipation is killing me. And it's just like, I know, like, not only these third party, but all of a sudden these first party, these games that, I'm sorry, PlayStation guys, you're just not going to play, that are on a $15 subscription as of now. I'm stoked for it. I'm like, damn,
Yeah, definitely, man. When that first party wheel really starts kind of like dropping games. I mean, we see all the studios that Xbox has. It's gonna get serious. Like the funny thing about it is, people are out there kind of like, Xbox has no games, and like, Xbox fans were getting excited over like studio acquisitions. They're like, well, that's just a studio. Yeah, that's a studio that will develop another game. You start putting all those studios together and look at all the games that can come out of them. Like, all of a sudden you have like a manufacturer's warehouse just pumping out games for that platform.
This is where I have a problem, because like people were touting like the PS Plus thing where they're giving you 10 games. But if this was Xbox doing the same 10 games, you would not like it. Why? Ask yourself, because I mean, besides Horizon, the updated edition, you have basically a bunch of indie and makeshift games, and it drives me nuts because Xbox would be like, hey, here's Gears 5 for nothing. They put it on gold, for the love of God. You know what I mean? And that caliber of game doesn't deserve that, but they did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go and pay for it, or you can just, sub. Like, it's $15. So it's a little bit more than Xbox Live Gold right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's why we were all like, why the hell would you up the price of Xbox Live Gold? It doesn't make sense. You're not dropping anything that's good, but you're dropping all these good things on Game Pass. And, for us, it didn't make any sense. And that was the whole point of it. It's like, if somebody just wants to play Fortnite, make that shit free. And all of a sudden they did that. So y'all can say whatever you want.
They haven't done it yet, but
they are doing it.
Well,
okay.
No, we
Right.
we have to put that out there before somebody's like, well, Crispy said it's free and it's not. Look, I have the video here on Twitter. I'm showing you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't care about that. You know that. And the point is that, gaming is your preference. And the one thing I will say about Game Pass is, even like the other dude, I've been posting like playing Dishonored, bro. Like, I've never played that game. The dual wielding mechanics in that game is what I love about it. And I'll tell you, on my One X, I don't know if it's maybe they're giving me a little something, because the game is playing flawlessly, and I feel like I could almost be playing Dying Light except with people, and it's weird, but having two different weapons in the same screen is just crazy to me, and I'm like, I don't understand this. I don't understand how they did this, and that's where I go and say, like, dude, I never experienced that. And because of Game Pass, I got to experience it, and now I'm still like I'm thinking about playing it right now. Like I'm literally like that's my thought process. Like it is messed with my head the way they did the mechanics in that game, and it's not about like the whole on story and the characters. They don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Not for my eyes, but the entire premise of the game just gravitates me, and I'm like, why can't people understand that? Like we Outriders is huge for the Xbox community to be going in Game Pass because they have some kind of attachment to what it is, and that's the whole point.
All right, I got you, bro. I got you. We gotta get Predator in on this. Predator has been too quiet, man. And I'm surprised he hasn't gone crazy at Christopher Hart in the chat yet. But I have a feeling that that'll be coming soon enough. But yo, Pred, Outriders into Game Pass day and date on launch, man. Are you excited? Were you surprised about the announcement? And what does this mean for Xbox? Because man, they have been rolling lately, bro.
Let's see. I was thinking about picking it up anyway. I just wasn't sure. I mean, there's really nothing out right now that I really want to play, but that was decent. I mean, I got a backlog already. Shit. And then with this EA and Bethesda, EA coming to PC finally, and Bethesda, all that shit coming to Game Pass. Like, I started looking like, man, that's a lot of shit I need to play. So like, it's like maybe I don't need to buy this yet. And then when they said they're dropping in Game Pass, like, okay, so I can download it. Hopefully it stays in there for a long time, long enough for me to play it. I'll definitely check it out the day it comes out. You know how I am. But and if I can get a squad together, I'll probably play it more than I would have if I played it solo. It'll keep me entertained for a while. But I thought it was big news for them to get something, even though it comes with our subscription that we already have, most of us anyway. We play online games, so we should have live or something. So with it coming to Game Pass, it just comes with the subscription I already have. I don't have to spend $60 on it like PC and PlayStation 5 guys have to do. And I really think that's the marketing plan for Microsoft going forward. I think if you look at how they've been doing business lately, like both of these companies, I'm just comparing PlayStation and Xbox. Like they have their different marketing schemes. PlayStation likes to go after timed exclusivity, whereas Microsoft, I think their process is going to be, let's get it in Game Pass. And so at some point, I'm not saying this is going to be the game, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be more. I expect like Scarlet Nexus may be one of the next game. That's what I'm predicting anyway. Be the next one they have coming in Game Pass. But these AA games like this that are coming out, they're kind of smaller. If they can get those games in Game Pass, at some point, people on the other side are going to be like, okay, they got this shit in Game Pass, and I got a character in Marvel. Like, like at some point they're gonna be like, I might need to check this out a little bit and kind of get into this ecosystem because they're getting brand new to get games day and date, and that I gotta spend $60 on to play, and I'm still spending X amount of dollars on play online on PlayStation as well. It comes with their subscription. Now, if Sony starts getting into that game too, that's different. But right now, only one side's doing that. So I would expect that if it continues and they do these deals going forward with some of these games to keep things in Game Pass, they don't have to buy studios if they can get the game in Game Pass for us. And I'd be okay with that. And again, like some of these AA games that we may or may not buy, going forward, like unless it's something that you're like really passionate about or you played a beta like they did here to get us interested in, they start doing this going forward, they're going to get those Game Pass subscriptions up a lot. And the only downside about it is it didn't come to PC in the Game Pass on PC portion of it. And I think that's not that that's gonna make or break everybody, but I mean I can hear the rumblings from the PC guys because they want they want to play with their specs and stuff like that. I have to spend $60 on it, but I mean it's a good get. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like I think from what everybody's been saying that I've heard on several podcasts already is like, we were on the fence on this game, but since it's coming in Game Pass, I will definitely play it, and that's what I've heard from pretty much everybody so far. So, I think it was a good pickup for him.
Pred,
it's not a bad game either.
I went through the demo. I beat all the side missions and stuff like that. It was definitely a lot of fun. I did die a lot too, but Pred, I also think that this is a move that shows that there will be DLC for this game. because like what's a great way to sell DLC, like a newer way. If your game's in a subscription service, you can ask Bungie about this as well with their $10 seasons for Destiny 2, because Destiny 2, like the core expansion was in Game Pass, but if you wanted to get into the seasons and the seasons activities, seasons are $10 per. All right, so I feel like this is a sign that when it comes to Outriders, they are going to have DLC expansions in it. Do you think that's a little far fetched, man?
That's definitely possible. I mean, I'm sure they want to keep people engaged in the game after everybody no lifes it and it maxes out their characters. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I can see that, and that's a good way to get, not only since starting game, at least for the Xbox side of it, like if you're already in Game Pass, to get some extras, to squeeze a little bit more at that damn limit, and get a little more juice out of you, and get $10 here, $5 there by doing DLC. I mean, I can see that happening, and I think
Shit
this
adds
is a
up, bro.
test. I know it does, and I think this is a test. Like, I can't think of another game that came in day and date in Game Pass that didn't come out anywhere else that was this hyped, or anything, to be honest with
Streets of Rage was pretty hype.
Yeah, not like this.
you. No, I don't. Think
No, not like that. But I'm just saying, Streets
Yeah,
of
no,
Rage.
but
was,
it was definitely up there. Yo, just real quick, shout out to Future Generations, who was asking about the game that was being played before. I believe that was Prince of Persia, and you got to shout out K Mega for that, because that's K Mega gameplay right there. And then the next one, somebody said Dead to Rights, and yo, K Mega, I got to give you a shout out for this one. This is low key one of my favorite Need for Speeds. The Run, dude, you put the Run gameplay in on there, man. I gotta give respect to you for that one, man. That was
no doubt.
I'm giving props for Prince of Persia, because I was actually looking at that the other day about picking that up again too.
But yeah, no, I picked it up. I was like, oh, but
Which
yeah,
one
no.
was that? Was that Sands of Time? Or was
That was Sands of Time. That was my
Okay.
favorite one. I thought
Yeah.
Sands of Time was amazing. So yeah. This game, I don't know why this game right here that's playing right here is not on back compat either. So, but I mean, that might be somewhat EA.
You've played this before. I'm not sure if it was PC, but yeah, you've had that gameplay.
Yeah, I've showed that gameplay before. Yeah.
Yeah. But all right, Pred, if you don't, if you don't mind.
Else, man. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Let's get to Dark. Dark's been really quiet lately. I don't know why. Like we got to piss him off a little bit. So he comes in. He's like, "Shut up, man," or something like that. But no, Dark. What do you think about this move, man? Outriders going into Game Pass day and date. I'm excited, man, because now I will be able to play it day one. Let me know what you think, and what does this mean here? Because Mooch was talking about they need third-party multi-plat games to go into Game Pass day and date. Well, here you go. Here's a game that's been building hype, and they announced it's in Game Pass on launch day, bro.
I think it's huge. To be honest, I think it's one of the biggest things this week, or this month, actually this year so far, to find out that a game like Outriders is coming to Game Pass is huge, man. Because I think it's going to generate more people to play it. It's also gonna, people who were already planning on playing it, they might actually, or some people who were like, I'm gonna play it on my PS5 instead of my Xbox Series X. They're like, well, now I can save some money and go play it on my Series X instead.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, it's a win-win for everybody, man. Like more power to Xbox for doing that. I wish something would happen with PlayStation to do that, but I doubt that'll ever happen.
They're
at least not
reworking PlayStation Now, by the way. So don't.
Yeah, I think they will, rework that and make it better. But I'm not sure if it's ever gonna be to the point to where it's as good or better than Game Pass. Like I think Xbox already has a solid run right now. So, I mean, I don't see. I mean, I wish that PlayStation, I wish that they'll, I'm hoping they'll do good, but we'll see. Um, that's the thing. But I think this game going to Game Pass, man. Whew, wow, I was not expecting that. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting it until till we knew for sure. I mean, we heard rumblings, from people on the internet, but we weren't like it was not like a for sure thing. I mean, it was, because sometimes we listen to some of these people that have some inside information, and sometimes they're not always right. So it really just depends. But I'm a little conflicted because I don't have a Series X, so I'm not sure if I want to play it on my One X or if I just want to buy it and play it on my PS5.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'm
You're in
like
a tough spot there because if you
a
get
little
it
bit,
on
yeah.
if you get it on the One X, you're gonna have to deal with the load times, all that stuff that you've already
Right,
kind of like you've already thrown that in the dumpster basically in terms of load
right.
times and everything with your PS5. But PlayStation doesn't have that subscription service where this game is going in day and date.
Yeah,
So damn, you got a
yeah,
decision to make, bro.
yeah. And I mean, I'll make a decision before the game launches, but um,
Somebody get this man a Series X.
yeah, I'm looking. I mean, I look every day to just see if there's anything out there, um, but I haven't seen anything. Um, not in quite a while. I haven't seen anything come from the Series X. I see a lot of PS5s. I mean, I don't know where they're getting these PS5s from. I mean, I don't know where they're they're making these damn things because
Obviously, COVID didn't hurt as much as they were trying to let
to
on.
make it seem,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, so it's kind of interesting to see that, um, but not very much from Xbox in terms of like the Series X and stuff. I mean, I know I can get a Series S, but I don't really want a Series S. I want an
Oh,
X.
don't talk shit about the S,
No,
people.
I'm not. No. I know the S is good. It's just I want if I'm gonna get something, I want it to have all the bells and whistles.
I got
Especially
you.
when it comes to a console. But yeah, man. I mean, this is great. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and so moving on from there. Not only that, but we've seen and we've heard about certain features that come with the Xbox series of consoles. Certain features that improve performance of games
Hmm.
without even the developers getting into the code or anything, and that would be, of course, auto HDR, which adds high dynamic range color palette to games that weren't even coded with that HDR in mind, and FPS boost. And Digital Foundry did an analysis on a couple games, one of them being Dishonored and the other one being Prey. And it seems that even Digital Foundry really can't talk a lot of crap about this about these features when it comes to Xbox and games utilizing them. And basically, again, it's just the machine implementing these features. Nothing the developers have to do or anything to get games from 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second. Adding in that HDR and stuff. And it really seems like when it comes to actual games, and not like I hate to say gimmicky, but gimmicky stuff that might not work out well in the future. It seems like Xbox is really going in on innovation with your existing library and really increasing the performance of games that you might already own or games that you miss that could be cheaper in the long run, cheaper now that you might want to go back into and get into and try, and the performance is going to be that much better. It's going to be up more to today's standards and such. And you know I just feel that Xbox is doing core things in order to add innovation when it comes to processing these games and such. So, Dark, what do you think about these FPS boosts, the auto HDR, what they're doing here? Like, I couldn't believe that. When I heard those, I thought like 360 games, stuff like that. But seeing a game like Prey, utilizing all of that, the auto HDR, the FPS boost, and of course an older game like Dishonored. But hearing that, Xbox One games are really catching these performance enhancements, it has me excited for the future. And me being a Series S owner, thinking that these innovations are actually going to be that much better for me with a Series S as well. It's going to bring these games more comparable to the Series X over time. But what do you think here, Dark? Do you think that Xbox is really kind of pushing forward with innovation for core features in games? Like, what do you think about like their ideas here and kind of like the features that they're bringing with these new systems, bro?
Honestly, I think it goes to show you that Xbox has a real winner on its hands when it comes to the Series X and Series S. I mean, as you guys know, I'm primarily a PlayStation player,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly for its exclusives. Like I really like its exclusives. But I think Xbox with what they're doing with that, it's a game changer, man. To be honest, because it goes to show you that hey, we got this technology that so far we don't know if PlayStation has that, that pretty much nobody else has, and we're gonna utilize it to our benefit and to help our games look and feel better when it comes to frame rates and auto HDR and things like that. I mean, for a game like some of the older games, to just get that FPS boost or get a freaking, or like something like Rise Son of Rome, get like an FPS boost plus auto HDR on it. Oh my god, dude. Like, just imagine that game, dude. Like, it's gonna be freaking insane. Like,
It'll
because I
look
mean
like
that
a launch game for this
He
generation.
just jizzed himself a little bit. I'm just,
a little bit. Because I actually like that game. Like, I know a lot of people give that game a lot of shit, and I know Mega is actually one of those guys that likes that game. So
Oh yeah, enjoy it a lot.
it, just to see that, or even like Sunset Overdrive, to see something like that, to get auto HDR with FPS boost like that, dude. I'm telling you, like Xbox is pulling out all the stops, man. They're not playing around this generation, and I knew that from the beginning. I knew that they weren't going to play around this generation. They just needed the time to get their bearings in a good spot, and I think right now they're honestly in a very, very good spot right now.
Dark, real quick. When before these systems launched, I was talking about, when it came to the Xbox One and the PS3, like one of the features that came out that like I had no clue like I would want or anything like that would be the the upload studio and the share factory, and being able to upload videos to YouTube and stuff. And I feel like every generation there's features that we never even thought about, but that come out, and it's like, oh wow, really kind of touting that it's a new generation, a new way of thinking and stuff. And I really feel that Xbox is kind of like leading the way when it comes to those types of innovations. What do you think about that, bro?
For sure, man. I think they're setting a precedent right now, and there's they people give Xbox so much shit and saying that it has no games, but I mean they did buy all these studios. I mean, yeah, they haven't had any, they haven't shown off any of the games, or well, they've shown off a few, here and there, but we haven't actually gotten them in our hands and played them yet. But I think they're in a good spot, man. To be honest, they're really in a good spot, and I think, and anybody who thinks that PlayStation's in a bad spot, they're completely wrong. I think both of these companies are in a good spot right now, and this generation honestly is good for gamers. Period.
Nice, brother. I'm gonna switch this over to Predator real quick. Now, Pred, like I said, the new features that people have been testing, people have been showing the FPS boost, the auto HDR. Again, like I feel these are core innovations, things that we didn't even think were possible before these new systems. What do you think here when it comes to innovation with this generation? To me, it looks like Xbox is leading the way with core features that really kind of like cater to the heart of real gamers, and things like we never thought were possible. What do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, and like some of the stuff, like the smart delivery thing, was like something that I really didn't think about. I thought, okay, we'll get a download update or something like that, and when I see the stuff that they have to do on the PlayStation side to get a PS4 game to PS5, it makes me like think like, man, they really thought long and hard about something that was probably not even on our radar at all.
Yeah.
That makes our life so much easier, like the simple things, and that to me is like the biggest one. Like just getting those games from the previous generation to just instantly run without having to do anything. One of the other ones too is like the FPS boost, and like they were talking about this on one of the shows we were watching with maybe it was the Bethesda show that they did a couple of weeks ago, last week I think, where they were like, some of these updates, like the developers don't have to do anything. It just happens. Like they don't have to put any extra work into it. Like back, remember when they transitioned some of the games from when we first got back and like they had to slowly roll it out.
Yeah.
And like the developers had to go in and tweak some things and do X, Y, and Z to get it. They don't have to do that anymore. Like that just saves so much time and energy and stuff like that. So like those little simple things that like those quality of life things that help the developers make games and transfer their games from one generation to the next are like that just saves so many man hours so they can focus on doing something else. And in the past they would have to sit there and like tinker with the system and tinker with a new engine or something like that, and they don't have to do that crap. And that's like I think that's one of the mind-blowing things that like when you see, like I said, when they're on the PlayStation side, and the game they were just talking about, I think the Avengers game where you got to go here and download this and do this and flip this, and like that's for the casual person who doesn't know any better. That might be a little bit difficult. They might not know how to do that, and they'll have to read up on it and stuff like that, where it's just automatic on the Xbox side. You don't have to think about it. It just does it, So yeah, I think some of the innovative features they've put into this box and just like moving forward, like there's people back there doing things that we don't even think about, and it makes our life a lot easier on this side. So I'm cool with that.
Nice. And same question, but to Crispy Bomb now, because again, like I feel like these are features that we never thought about before these systems came out, and to see them in action, to me, this is truly next gen features when it comes down to it. But what are your thoughts here, man? Is Xbox leading in innovation right now with core features, bro?
Well, it's pretty easy for a company to use the power of the box, which it could be the Series X or the S at this point.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And, make it what it should be. You know what I mean? And it takes time. I feel like, everybody like brings up COVID, but it's like it goes for both companies. They've both had issues. Not only like manufacturing, but actually developing, the software. And that's where I go and say software. Think about that. They are using it on the back end. This has nothing to do with the hardware. And I constantly see people talking about how they have to go through back doors and everything on a PlayStation, and they don't have to do any of that on a Series X or S. Okay? You have your options immediately. All you have to do is download an update. That's basically what happens. Now, is it flawless? No. I don't think any company is going to be flawless on these things. But Microsoft is a software-based company. They have developed software to integrate with the hardware and use the numbers and the algorithms that are used by that hardware to, relinquish that software. And on top of that, how many people know what they're actually using of the cloud? They don't have to tell you. They have no reason to tell you anything. So everybody's like, oh, the cloud is nothing. Like it's you don't own games, you don't do this and that. Well, guess what? I booted up Fallout 4 the other day. I still had that cloud save from like 6 years ago, it feels like. Something like that. When it first started out, I played for like 300 hours and I stopped. I was done. And I literally booted it up and it literally had the same save I had. So why isn't PlayStation doing things like this? Because they can't, people. Jesus. Like, that's why they invested in Azure. Microsoft's going to allow them to use those aspects if they want to. And that's the whole point. Like, dude, they're just a bigger company. They've invested in so many other things throughout their lifespan that's insane that you forget about what they invested in. And some things they've thrown to the curb and you're like, oh, they did that. And then it's other things that are completely just Microsoft at this point. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, dude, they've had this forever. They bought this company out 10, 15 years ago. And now all of a sudden, like, it doesn't exist that they bought them. You know what I mean? And that's what have you done for me lately? Well, guess what? Xbox is giving you auto things that you didn't think were possible. Mm-hmm. And they're doing it without any BS on your part. For a gamer, I just want to play the fucking game. That's the way I look at it. Okay? That's all I want to do. Play the game. And if I'm going to invest in a better console, you better believe that I expect that thing to do what I want it to do. And that's the whole point. And that's where we're going on two different realms. When you have Jeff Keighley asking questions to these people about how do I make this happen on my PS5? I mean, come on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have these questions on Xbox. Xbox just like, here you go. Have it. Okay. You got the Series X or S? Here you go. You know what? You're on cloud. Just wait. Watch what happens. It's gonna be 1080p on your little tiny little screen as long as you have a decent phone. Bam, there you go. Have a good day. And that's their whole point. But they're actually walking with it right now. The big stick has been brought up to the shoulder and it's gonna start whacking people in the head. Be like, you don't like it? Boom. Deal with it. Boom. Deal with it. That's the way they're thinking right now. And I see it in the way they presented the past month and a half. It's just been incredible. And, Xbox is back. I don't care what anybody says.
Real quick, shout out to our brother Albert G, who says this is pretty much one of the best podcasts out here right now. So appreciate that, Albert. I saw that in the chat earlier. But he's talking about PS5 is the best-selling console launch ever. And dude, you're missing a little thing with that. It's by dollar amount, not by units sold. All right, so when it comes down to it, like, I know people were touting that at one point in time and saying how, like, it outsold the Switch, but the Switch came out at $300. The PS5 digital is already $100 more than that, and then the standard PS5 with the disc tray is $500. So that's $200 more than one Switch. So it was by dollar amount and not by units sold that it is the quote unquote best selling PlayStation or whatnot. I just want to let you know that. So this way, you have your information correct when you're in chats or you're out there on social media and stuff. It's by dollar amount and not by units sold. I just throwing it out there for you, brother. That's all. But when it comes to this innovation, again, I am awestruck at stuff they are doing here with these systems, stuff that I never thought really was possible. And I want to get K Mega's thoughts in on this, because I have a feeling you might be sitting there kind of like me, like sitting back like, damn, I can't believe they're doing this with my existing library, making games that I already love to play. But bringing them up to kind of like today's standards and not having to mess with the developers to get stuff done. Kind of like, going around that whole thing and waiting for the developers and the studios to implement, like these additions to the game and letting the system actually take over and put in high dynamic range color and double up the frames in the game, making the game smoother and stuff like that. I never thought this was possible, bro.
Well, this is the overall thing. I think that we've alluded to it before. When you look at what Xbox went through last gen, they're making all the corrections, and even when if they had the same type of ideas to go into the Xbox One, they had to change everything in order and maybe scrap some things and then maybe implement them later. Because if you go back and you read that one thing, I remember a lot of people were showing it where it was saying, the Xbox One is the beta test machine, console. It's basically, they got a lot of ideas, they got a lot of vision behind what they wanted to do with the Xbox One. It's just that the powers that be, if you wanted to say Sony or the media or just, the fan base, whatever, made it, kind of made them fold back in and take some of their ideas and keep them. And I think maybe, the backwards compatible thing has been something that they've been wanting to do for a long time. I think that because of they wanted to make the Xbox One and the PC synonymous, they didn't want to have the same issues like they did with the 360 and the OG Xbox, where the PC community just couldn't stand Xbox at one particular time. So it was like, well, we want to try to bring those in. But then, of course, you had console gamers and you had other people that were basically now dogging out Xbox for what they were trying to do by trying to cater to the PC community. And still, with everything that they were still trying to do with that, it still didn't work out the way that they envisioned. But now you look at how everything is going and how and what they're doing with their visions that they may have already had, and now the visions that they got going forward, they're hitting on all cylinders. Everything has been right on point. I mean, we used to always come on here and say, man, when Xbox make 2 steps forward, they take 5 steps back, because they would always have something hot going on, and the next thing you know, they would revert back to something that was just that, they would kick their own ass for. They have been very smart on a lot of things. I mean, the only thing is what Crispy alluded to, and
don't
I've alluded
speak
to.
too soon, Mega.
No. I think they've learned a lot of lessons, man. They've taken a lot, and it all goes to the team. That was one thing that I was just saying, and I'm not going to go veer too far from the question that Bot asked me, but this is something I was talking about with PlayStation and Xbox at the time when PlayStation was dominated, and when Andrew House and all these other people that were vets for PlayStation started leaving. I'm like, look, the same thing has started happening to Xbox, and look at what's going on with Xbox. You better be paying attention to this, because it's nothing like having a team that works on something and that knows what they're doing. Even though if you can bring people that's been there, if they have a whole different new crew that wants to come and change some things, there might be some PlayStation fans that's not going to be excited about that or happy about the new structure of what they're doing. We're kind of seeing that a little bit now, but I mean, time will tell. But with Xbox, you've seen from all of Xbox One that turnover, everything that was happening, they just couldn't get themselves. They couldn't get out of their own way. They have everything ready to go. The HDR, the auto HDR, and all that stuff. The whole bottom line behind it is they don't want to fuck with the second party like they did what they had to last time. The second party did Xbox fantastic on the 360, and even on the OG Xbox side of things back in those days. Things changed. I don't know what happened, if it was because of
I was gonna say, when you look at what happened with Quantum Break and them having to go back to the drawing board and the development cycle like doubling up on that. When you look at what happened with Scalebound and Platinum kind of like using that money for other projects, I think they realized we can't deal with second party. We got to go internal.
Right. Well, I mean, just look at what Quantum Break. I mean, they wanted to do Quantum Break, but then all of a sudden, there was the resolution gated. Then all of a sudden, you seen Remedy doing stuff and then kind of taking shots at Xbox. Crytek taking shots at Xbox. Then you had Insomniac get swooped up, so there's no more Sunset Overdrive coming to Xbox. Then of course you have Recore, and you have all these other things that's going on through second party. Scalebound is probably the biggest, and then of course you got to look at Crackdown 3. That was second party. And so they've invested so much money into these second party, developers and studios, and it's not like they don't have good relationships with them. It just, the whole Scalebound thing was just ridiculous because this was going to be the biggest budget for Platinum Games, and they just kind of like, we'll get to it when we'll get to it. We got Turtles, we got Transformers, we got Nier Automata, we got all these other games we want to take care of first. And that just threw I think that was the last straw. I think that's when they canceled that, and they, because I think that they thought that they had a winner. I thought that they did. Maybe they didn't, but who knows? But I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And they were like, no, we're going to cut out the middleman. Everything that we're going to have now is going to be in-house. And so when he picked up Matt Booty, and then they went ahead and did their thing, and then I forgot the other guy's name when they Gallagher that's at that one studio and everything. That I think that they just like, nah, we're going to hit it from every point. I want to have all different types of genres of games to be developed in house. The only thing the only two things left, really, if you think about it, or three, if you want to add hack and slash. Is fighters and Japanese in games that has a lot of Japanese support, or a studio that has a lot of Japanese support, because Tango is just one. Those are the only two things that they have the question mark on. And so everything else, though, they have it wrapped up. I mean, they got platformers, they got RPGs, they got shooters, they got everything else, puzzle games, they got everything else lined up. So it's like, cut out the middleman, let's do this, and then let's take the ideas that we may have with Xbox One and implement this into this console. Give people a little preview of what we were doing with the Xbox One X, but make sure that we give everything that we can to the Series S and X, and just balls to the wall. And we're starting to see it. And really, if you think about it, I mean, we're only just 4 months into this generation, and Xbox is already looking like they're about to take off. They're not even off the ground yet. They're just rolling. They're not even off the ground yet with all this tech. And people was over there clowning.
Their first party game come out, man.
No. And then everything else, they'll know that there was a little thing about those tools, and they were, and Stans was over there clowning, like, where are these tools, when Digital Foundry was saying this and that. It's about to get ugly, because I think before PlayStation can get out of the rut that they're in, I think they're going to stumble a couple of times, because before they get there, and then Xbox is going to be. That's why I'm saying I think this is now the time where Xbox is about to take flight.
What rut are they in, though?
The storage situation. That's disgusting.
That's going to get fixed in the summer, dude.
Yeah, it's going to get fixed in the summer, which means that it's a situation right now, Dark.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, come on, the summer, and then on top of that, then you got pricing, and then if you just got to put things in perspective. If this was Xbox doing this, and
Oh,
maybe you
my
can get an
goodness.
understanding of where I'm coming from. Yeah, there's not a lot of PlayStation fans just going out and just saying, "Oh, this storage SSD situation is not tripping. It's not a big deal," because really they're in a drought right now. That's another thing that nobody's not talking. That's not really saying. I mean, Ratchet and Clank is the big game that y'all got going up here right now. I mean, coming up here,
I mean,
what, next month?
that's their
No, that's
first that's their first true kind of like next gen game
Right.
as well.
That's their true next year game. I
Well,
mean,
no, because Returnal is.
okay.
It's not a proven IP yet, but yes,
No.
it is the next gen. It is a next gen game.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. I mean, you got Returnal, you got Returnal, you have Ratchet and Clank, and then you're going to have Halo that's going to be waiting for them at the end of the year.
And talking about stumbling, one of their first stumblings is announcing
Horizon Zero Dawn.
announcing God of War Ragnarok as 2021, and then having to kind of step back on that and be like, oh well, nah, it's not coming out this year, man. My bad.
And then talking about Generations Matter, and then getting everybody all hyped up and trying to make this stuff about, oh well, old consoles hold back new consoles. We're all about generations, just like Sony. Look at that. Sony has not had a very good run.
The funny thing about that is, though, that mostly Xbox guys care about that than PlayStation.
What are you talking about? Well,
I'm just saying.
I'm seeing. Listen, I'm going by what people have been saying for months, for almost a year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So they've been going all off about Generations Matter. All you got to do is just type in on social media Generations Matter and see and read comments. So I don't know. That's all you got to do. I ain't got to prove anything. Just type it in, go into Google or wherever, and then see and just type it in, and you'll see it right there. And how many and what people will say. I just don't. Sony doesn't seem very prepared for this generation, and they can blame it on the pandemic. I can't say that they can blame it on it because the pandemic has hurt a lot of stuff, but they just didn't come in like they did with the PlayStation 4. That's if you got to agree with that. The PlayStation 4, they were ready. They had everything ready to go. They was not bullshitting.
No,
Here,
I think
they kind of feel like
they were ready.
Yeah,
with the PS4.
yeah.
I don't think they were ready with the PS4.
You don't think they were ready with the PS4? What?
They were ready after the fact of what they saw with what happened with Xbox. Yeah, they had to make a big change because if you remember with the PS4, they were gonna actually implement that camera into the system. They were gonna sell you that camera inside the system.
Right,
So
but
they had to make a huge turnaround when they saw what happened with Xbox.
well, they made but regardless, when they got off at launch, when Xbox and PlayStation got off at launch, there was two factors for PlayStation that got them over the ledge. It was the fact that the whole video games and discs and DRM is not, and Xbox has DRM and all that other stuff, and the price. That's a win. They were already. This is a different animal here. They didn't have the game lineup as Xbox did, but they had all the momentum rolling into this generation. This generation is completely different. You would think that they came out with Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, and they would have it, but they stumbled into this generation. Spider-Man and Darks and Demon Souls saved them, but other than that, they was having controller issues. There was all these other issues. Then the storage issues,
the external hard drive issue.
There's just all different types of stuff right here. And I'm just saying, if Xbox
the way you're talking,
it
makes it sound like they're like doom and gloom right now.
I didn't say doom and gloom. I said they stumbled. I'm saying stumbled. I said stumbled. I didn't say they're done. I didn't say that one bit. I said that they stumbled, and everybody can see that. That Xbox is for all the games that they were talking about in the first four months, it's starting to get ugly now. So they got to show improve with this. If this other game isn't going to come, is it going to be any good? And Ratchet and Clank is going to be good. I don't have no doubts about that.
But that would be the game to think about.
That's going to be the game right there. But Returnal, they're putting this game on their high horse right here. right there next to a game that's going to be solid and prove it like that. No, I don't see it.
Well, that's
I
the
don't
thing.
see it.
That game comes out at the end of next month. So Returnal comes out at the end of the next month, and
Mhm.
then Ratchet and Clank comes out in June. So I mean, there's plenty of time for Returnal to kind of get a fan base.
Returnal's gonna be in PS Plus 2 months after.
Oh damn,
Bro, I'm saying, like, I mean, it reminds me. I mean, I love Recore, but it reminds me of a better of a AAA version of Recore. I don't see that game just gravitating like that. Shooters don't gravitate like that on PlayStation. It's a different type of dynamic. Now, if the storytelling is good and solid, then I'll be proven wrong. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that the game is going to be
dude,
bad.
it's
I
like
just
it's
don't
like
know.
Recore meets what was it, Silent Hills?
Yeah, something like that. And I mean, look, that sounds like a cool game, but I just don't know if that's going to fully gravitate to the PlayStation fan base like that. I don't know. I'm just thinking personally, as a person who listens to a lot of PlayStation fans, and they dogged out Recore and games that's kind of like that.
Yeah, but you gotta
I-
remember this is a PlayStation exclusive. They're not gonna dog this game.
No,
dude.
no, they're not gonna. They're not. They're, no,
Of
no, they're
course
not.
not.
They're not gonna dog it out. But I'm
but
saying,
shame
They're not
on
gonna
us.
be like,
Shame
but
on
will-
us,
but-
though, right?
and I'm not dogging the game out. I'm saying I don't know if that game is going to be the answer to whatever else. And listen, they can fall. They can hang them up high and brag about the games that they got. That's only for a year exclusive or 2 year exclusive. But I just personally feel that PlayStation this year has not looked dominant at all. And maybe that might change, but I just think that they're stumbling.
Well, I mean,
but K
yeah,
Mega dollar amounts for the PS5, man. They're number one, dude. They that's what a lot of people argue with. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
People were touting Destruction All Stars before it came out. Even with the low Meta Who score.
Right.
Right. They were still touting it, but I don't see anybody talking about it anymore. I don't.
It's
see...
Horizon. It's
besides
Horizon
Halo, what
Forbidden
other
West.
games
It's
what
Horizon.
other games are coming to Xbox this year besides
It's
Halo?
it's Horizon Forbidden West. Is that coming out this year?
Apparently, yeah.
You should say hopefully. That would probably be the better kind of like word for that.
I mean, that's what their goal is it for it to come out this year.
Okay.
Oh, and guess what? Halo is coming out in November, by the way.
And Jason Ronald actually said that he's excited for a game that hasn't been announced for this year. By the way,
I mean, Crossfire is supposed to be. Not Crossfire.
Crossfire X.
Yeah, Crossfire X. There's still Ascension. There's games that's coming. I mean, if you want to tout them as big or small or whatever, I don't know. That's up to you. But I'm just saying that there's games that's going to be there. There's the game that's going to be made by the one guy. I don't know why I can't think of that game. Bright Memory Infinite. Yeah, I mean, there's games that's going to be coming out. I mean, I know that's not going to be a big.
I would put Bright Memory Infinite in kind of like the same category as Returnal.
Me too. I put it in the same category, and and the lesser category would be Second Extinction stuff. That game, I'm hyped for that game. So, yeah, no, I mean, the Xbox is going to have these games. They're still, well, now nobody haven't said anything about Scorn here lately, but that game's supposed to come out this year. But that's a maybe. But we'll see. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm giving my thoughts on it. I'm not trying to dog anybody out or tell anybody that they're wrong. I'm just giving my thoughts on how I feel.
Yeah, people are they're like taking turns putting Dalen in timeout in the chat. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah, guys going crazy. Guys with wrenches going crazy. Predator has been going crazy in the chat too. By the way,
I see it.
Like, dude.
I'm busy. I'm sorry.
he said something about you're gonna put SSD in the PS5 is gonna blow the up. I started dying with that. I mean, dude, I understand if you're a fan of a system or whatnot, but I'm a fan of Xbox. I prefer to play on the Xbox platform, but I've gone out and criticized them when I felt like I had to. You know what I'm saying? And one thing, you know, and I know we're talking about innovation here, and the conversation kind of spread out, but the whole, in turn, like adding memory to the PlayStation 5, that's unacceptable right there, man. That is
Thank you.
to
Thank you.
not have
Yeah.
any way to expand the memory, and with such limited options
Storage.
in terms of like you know putting the game like even like you know, put PS5 games on an external or something like that. Like all the issues that have gone on when it has come to the memory of the PS5. I mean that's unacceptable, people. Let's be real. Like you want to talk about, you know, other platforms and stuff, and like I have no problem with that, but you know you got to call it out, man. Otherwise these companies are just going to think that they can do whatever they want. And you're and you're
there's
just gonna
been
buy
no
it
answer
anyway.
to that question. Yeah, they haven't even addressed that yet, and that's a feature that should have been available on day one. Like, sorry,
Yeah, people were championing that, like, oh, look at our SSD is so advanced that there's not even anything out there that is comparable, and it's like, well, that you're just limiting.
And it's all for greed,
your
because
storage, man.
they could have had any other company. They could have done what Microsoft done and just worked with another company, with Samsung or who else or whoever, to at least have something available at launch. But they want to do it themselves, and man, like I just know what would have been said if this was Xbox, and listen, and Xbox would deserve it, because there was no reason for you to want to talk about fastness and games, and we know the games are going to be bigger, and you don't have any type of capabilities to shrink these games. To, you know, and you just expect us to just have just a regular 1 terabyte, but you want us to buy all of your games and and have these advertisements for different games to come in and to be bought, and hell no, that's inexcusable, man. I'm just saying. I'm sorry.
No doubt, no doubt. And you know, I wanted to get to there was one more topic I wanted to get to, but it seems like we are basically at the end of the show right now. So I'm just going to mention it real quick and just kind of give our quick thoughts on this. You know, it has come out that Xbox's March 26th show is actually going to be an ID at Xbox show. So it's basically an indie show. Now, they're talking about showing like 100 games during this show, which is really cool. And, you know, when it comes to indies, they are smaller games, but there's a chance if they're showing like 100 games that there's at least one game there that'll cater to like everybody. But I know a lot of people are touting this show and talking about seeing like Starfield and you know major game announcements and stuff like that. That does not seem to be the case, and I'm okay with that. And the reason why I'm okay with that, you look at what's going on with Xbox now. We just had the acquisition of ZeniMax. We just saw a bunch of Bethesda id Software games, arcade games go into Game Pass. You know, we got the announcement for Outriders going into Game Pass. So there's been some pretty big announcements, and a lot of times people will complain that, you know, you don't get enough information in between. I think this show is good placement to show a spotlight on the smaller games, the independent developer games, and what's coming, you know, to Xbox in kind of like that field of game development as well. So I feel like they're covering a full spectrum here. You got, you know, your big studio acquisitions, your big kind of like game announcements going into Game Pass. Now you can have that smaller show, but with like 100 games in it. So, again, just like quick thoughts on this before we kind of wind down. So, Crispy, March 26th is going to be an indie game kind of like show. Are you excited about it? Are you let down that it's not like a bigger game show with like bigger announcements? And are you going to tune in, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna tune in. You literally put out there 100 games. Are you shitting me? I want to see how they do this. That's the whole point. I mean, I would hope it. I mean, if they do 100 games, even like 2-minute snippets, you're talking like an hour and a half. And you know what? These indie developers that work their butt off deserve it. I'm sorry. You know what? This is what I love about Xbox right now. Because, probably 50 of those games are going to be in Game Pass day and date.
True
They were
that.
talking about Stalker. Like they're going to kind of go into gameplay of some of these games. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're going to show Stalker? Stalker 2?
That's what I saw on the Twitter feed. Yeah, so dude, they're gonna show. They said gameplay of games you've already seen, and basically new games on top of indie games, which I mean, some of them are you're just like whatever. But I mean, think about it this way: like you got a game like Fall Guys coming and. It was considered an indie game when it started, and now it's blown up. So don't sleep on things. I mean, Fortnite, I mean, come on. Like, most people are like, this is not my cup of tea or something. And all of a sudden they end up playing it with their kid or something. You know what I mean? So I enjoy seeing games in general, and hopefully they deliver with that 100 because they kind of said it already. So I want to see it. I want to see how they do it, and that if they kill it, I will acknowledge that. If they destroy it and have a bunch of BS talking in between, too much information, as I like to call it, then I'm going to be like, no, this is not my jam. I want to see game after game after game after game after game after game after game, and then I will be a happy camper probably.
Nice. And bro, you got me excited with that Stalker 2 because I definitely want to see more. I want to see more gameplay on that. And another reason why I'm excited about that is if they're showing Stalker 2. There was another game that was shown called
The Ascent is also one of them that they mentioned.
That's something that Jamie Moran is like really hyped for right there.
I'm hyped for it, dude, too. So you can go screw yourself.
I want to see the gunk. I want to see if they possibly show that on there.
Oh yeah, I want to see that too.
Yeah,
I don't think they mentioned that. By the way, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm gonna hopefully tune in. I gotta check my work schedule and see if I'm working on the 26th as well. I hope not, man. So say a little prayer. Make sure I'm not working at that point. But let's go to Dark on this. Like I said, quick thoughts, on the subject. March 26th, indie game show from Xbox. Do you think it's good timing? Are you excited? Are you going to tune in, Dark?
Oh man, more indie games coming from Xbox.
Oh no!
Every time, man. That's what we get is in fucking indie games.
You're such a hater.
We don't get to see anything else. We just get to see fucking indie games. That's it.
Wow.
No, I'm not gonna. I'll probably watch the show, but I'm not interested in it.
Dude, that's homework for the podcast. You gotta watch the show.
Well, I'm gonna watch the show. Like, I have to watch the show because I'm on the podcast, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I got you, man. Well, maybe we'll watch it together. If I am home and everything like that, maybe I'll live stream it and we can talk shit about it the entire time.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Predator, what do you think, man? Are you going to tune in? Is this a show that you're looking forward to? And what do you think about people were hyping up this show, and then it turns out it's an indie game show, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I think they did something like this last year. Like they kind of separate the indie part from the big boy part, and I'm gonna tune in. I'm looking for it. Any news is good news at this point. Like we're starving for it. So, and there's a lot of games, like a lot of AA games. Like this year, I'm actually excited about some of the indie games that are coming, like Tunic and like Bright Memory and stuff like that. So like some of those games I'm actually like looking forward to seeing more of. So this is a great year for it. You never know when that AA game is going to become that multi-million-dollar revenue stream. Like a Fall Guys. Like who saw that coming? Games like, so you never know. But these sizzle reels that they typically do, there's like let's say there's 100 games. There's like 70 you're never gonna fucking look at. Like you're like, it's bullshit. It's like watching the previews of the movie theater with the movies that are coming out. You're like, that looks good. That's garbage. I'm not wasting my money on that. Okay, I might check that out. And that's how I take these indie showcase events. Like I'm gonna find something out of that that I like, and I think, and again, even if you're not an Xbox guy, some of these games are gonna be multi-plat. You know that's coming. So like you can still tune in and see some of these games that are gonna come to your systems as well too. So don't just sleep on it just because it's got Xbox behind it. But I'm excited. I mean, I'm ready for things to start ramping up. For the whatever the hell E3 event they're gonna call it this year. So. And this is the very beginning of it right here. So everything can start ramping up from this point on. So let's get it. I want to see this shit.
Nice, and that's another good point because I mean we're in March. We're in March, but April, May, and then June, and June is usually the month for E3. To have them doing a show that will showcase 100 indie games now, only a couple of months away from June. It's kind of telling me that they're clearing the way to show more substantial stuff in that time period. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely going to tune in for the show if I can, especially since Crispy talked about Stalker 2. I need to see more of that game. But K-Mega, what about you, man? Like, again, people, when it was a rumor, they were talking about big announcements. Come to find out, it is an indie. It's an ID at Xbox showcase. Are you excited? Are you going to tune in? Are you disappointed that the rumors kind of hyped it up more than what it might be?
No, I mean, why would I get upset? I don't. When I watch game. When I watch game, just events or whatever, I go into because I know that I'm finna come out with something that I like, and normally it's more than one game, but no, these events aren't the big daddy, so that's why I don't take it. I only take it with a grain of salt. I think that I don't know why people keep falling for it. I mean, you get something from Aaron Greenberg saying temper your expectations, chill. Let's not get too out of hand. But there's people that's still doing it now. I think when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I said, look, my expectations are always high. So I mean, it's not like when it comes to just any type of game reveal. So that's just me in general because I like to see new stuff and what new innovations that they're going to do with it and things like that. But for just everything that every show has to have, the next big thing, if it's, the next Spider-Man or the next, the God of War, the next, whatever. And just that's just so unrealistic. And we've been hearing people having these overhyped expectations for what, 6, 7 years, 8 years now. I mean, they got to stop. We're only just 3.5 months away from E3. So, or for whatever that event's going to be called. So no, there's nothing that's going to be comparable to that. And then, unless Sony decides to do something maybe a month before or a month after, something like that. But no, I hope that everybody want to kind of get things back to normal to where we don't have all those crazy shows and events like we did last year. We'll have some, but we won't have as many as we did last year. And then most of them were even that they were okay. They just weren't what people were expecting from them. So, yeah, no, this is fine. Just show me some new games and show me some stuff that I want to see that's supposed to be coming out in 2021. And then, maybe a couple of glimpses of some stuff that's coming in 2022. That's it. I don't want to see anything past that.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Wow.
Again, I got to shout out our brother Crispy on this panel who got me more excited for this show than I was when we first started this topic because every little thing that I've seen from Stalker 2 so far, at least graphically, it doesn't look like your typical indie game. And I know that Stalker was huge on the PC. Of course, it was a while back or whatnot, but it's still kind of like iconic in the PC gaming space. Mm-hmm. So having the sequel coming over to Xbox, obviously the development team, they know what they're doing with this game for it to be so popular on its original platform that with the sequel coming to Xbox, I definitely want to see more. And that little teaser that they showed I think it was maybe a month back, where like somebody was like running through like a broken down building, and there's like this red light outside, and kind of like the graphics all the way around on that. I'm definitely interested to see more. So shout out to you, Crispy, man. You made me excited for this show, man. So yeah, definitely shout out to you. But think, talking about excitement for shows, guys, this show is officially in the books now. And I want to shout out the chat. You guys, it has been very, very entertaining reading the chat while listening to these guys on the panel. You guys have killed it. And Predator, you are definitely a part of that as well, bro. Some of the stuff being said in the chat, some of the back and forth going on, absolutely entertaining. Yo, shout out to you guys for all the continued support for the Next Podcast. For people who don't know, Next Podcast is one of the longest running podcasts in this gaming community. And we were basically the first ones to come out with gameplay in this community as well. And to see that feature kind of like spread out through other podcasts and stuff, it makes me feel like a proud parent. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel like a proud dad, seeing everybody finally realize that visuals, and I know me and you, K Mega, we already knew about this to begin with, but like visuals add that extra layer when it comes to a podcast, and to see everybody kind of like adopting that and stuff really, really, it makes me proud, man. It really makes me proud to see this community kind of like grow and get kind of like better with the presentations and stuff like that. So, shout out to the other podcasts out there that are doing what they do. But I got to say, it feels good to be kind of like the originators of that whole thing. But
No doubt.
With that being said and done, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And man, I love saying that. Absolutely love saying that. I'm gonna start with Predator. Predator, dude, what do you got for us for your outro, man? You can say anything you want. Are you gonna be a guest on any shows, man? I swear these podcasts are missing out right now if they are not like trying to contact you in DMs and stuff like that. I know there was a couple people I talked to that were looking for guests, and I'm like, my first thing was like, well, did you ask Predator? Because I already know how knowledgeable you are and how entertaining you can be. So is there anything going on in the world of Predator, bro?
Not much, man. I think I've been banned from a couple of shows. I don't get invites anymore from a couple of people I used to work with. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. I don't know. I won't throw any names out there. But no, I'm not planning on doing any shows that I know of. Like every now and then I get hit up for like something like last minute, but I'll just be playing golf and checking out some of these games in Game Pass on my PC and trying to get some more footage for you guys.
Did you just say golf?
Yeah, I did say golf.
Yeah. Okay.
Tiger Woods is coming back, guys. Tiger Woods. And so outside of that, man, I got my new headset in today. That's why I was having audio issues in the beginning, because it was trying to connect and I was trying to use my old headset. So, but yeah, this thing, I know we didn't talk about it, and I know we're trying to be quick on these outros, but this thing is beast. So if you guys get a chance to pick it up, make sure y'all grab one.
Can't wait. Mine's coming next week, so I can't wait.
It's nice. I like it. So I'll be using that next week, hopefully. Yeah, I won't sound like I'm so far away from the mic. I'll be right here in front of your fucking face next time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you sound very
next
dirty. Yes.
Wow. You know what? I'm gonna go to Dark next on this one. I need some smooth rhythm on an outro. Do you got my back, Dark?
Maybe.
All right, Mike's yours, man. What's up?
You guys can find me on Twitter, Darkonomimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And yeah, man, happy to be here. And hopefully, I'm free for any podcast.
Oh, he's putting himself out there. And just to let you guys know, Dark said off the air, as we're all getting into the meat, he loves to support anybody in the community except for Crispy Bomb. That's
exactly.
Support my OnlyFans, by the way. Thanks, Dark.
I definitely.
And what did I say? Love you too, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for the OnlyFans tips.
Definitely, dude. You deserve it.
Thanks, Daddy.
Yep, no problem.
Dude, I'm done.
Daddy
I am
Dark.
so done with you guys. Let's go to Crispy on this one. We're starting to get into the longer lists of stuff now. So Crispy, you are on multiple shows. We all know this, at least here on the panel. But why don't you let people know if they're possibly tuning in for the first time? Let them know where they can hear that hashtag Crispy Truth, bro.
Oh, what's that crispy truth? I don't know. All I know is that this chat was fire tonight, even though, some of y'all just like getting hate or just hurt or throwing shade at people and acting like things aren't relevant. It's okay. It's all right. We'll deal with it because we still love you. That's what happens. Yeah. Crispy Bomb on Twitter. Crispy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. You can find me on Breakfast of Boom tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. You can also find me on Retro Renegades. Yes, it is on the channel now. It is just called Retro Renegades. Come check us out Tuesday, 7 p.m. And, of course, you can find me back here on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursdays.
Nice, brother. And of course, we're going to go to the granddaddy of content scrolls. He's unrolling it right now as we speak. That would be K Mega. K Mega, you got a show getting ready for tomorrow, man. You got to let people know about that. And of course, you are a game streamer. You are a YouTuber. I think you have a lot to talk about, bro.
Yes. I haven't streamed this week because I've been taking care of some stuff within the channel, and also working on like crazy amounts of gameplay because I haven't done that in a long time. So get ready for tomorrow night's gameplay because I normally show trailers and stuff with my gameplay. This is all gameplay and it's from everything. So get ready for that tomorrow night.
So that means a lot of games with a button.
Absolutely, a lot of A button stuff, but it's all from every platform.
Shower with
so
that
you know what I'm
deluxe
saying? Yeah,
edition.
from mobile. So yeah, it's. I'm just like, man, I wanted to go in
mobile gameplay as well.
Mobile, yeah. There's
What?
a mobile game, and it's the first gameplay. It's the first piece of gameplay. I'm gonna send some of that gameplay to you this week, and you're gonna be like, no way, that's a mobile game. But I mean, you'll be like, where did this come from? But it's from a mobile game. It's crazy. But anyway, and then there's some other stuff that that from a couple of studios that I want people to see their game that works, and what those games supposed to be coming to Xbox. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. But yeah, a big thing, I want to have everything ready so I could give the announcement. So I'll just give a little announcement now that I'm finally working on putting GRG and Devin the Gamer on Spotify, on iTunes, all that.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's time to get serious. Well, I've been serious, but get really serious with it and go in. So, and then yeah, got some other plans going down the pike. Going to be streaming more often. I've always wanted to start streaming like more of a single player games, but I just got to figure out what day that's going to be. So I'll start doing that probably sometime earlier in the week because I got to at least take me a day or two off from after fight night, because fight night it's been going until 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the mornings now. It's crazy. It's bananas how late we be going. So other than that, yeah. So check out the GRG podcast tomorrow night. We'll be back here next week on the next podcast, and then got some other stuff going. And then of course, Devin the Gamer should be coming back, I think, this next week as well. So check us out, man. Check us out.
It's a lot.
And Pred, if you want to come on to the show tomorrow, man, you're free to come on.
No.
All right. So there you go.
I'm guessing he already met his white quota, so
Oh wow.
If I'm up, man, I'll do it.
Yeah. No,
So
if
you met
you aren't,
his
just
white
cool. But I
quota.
just said nobody. But I was like, oh, you can come in anytime you want to, brother.
Thanks,
So,
Bill.
did you say?
I'm shooting for OnlyFans for Dark tomorrow.
Yeah, you know, I want a higher class of white person to come onto the show, like
man.
Dread, like Dread
that's
Pool.
like the Joker when he said I want a higher class
Take
criminal.
that shit.
Like shit, man.
You know, all
Dang.
these like Dreadpool.
He
You
said
know,
no
we had
trailer trash is
Wilmy
what
on.
you just said.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. We
Trailer
don't.
trash
Yeah.
Artemis.
Anybody that has a mullet, they can't come on, man.
Is it because I'm half Latino? Is that why?
He said-
If
that
you was,
why?
if you
Is
was a
it-
Latino, if you was a Latino lady, you would have been all good. man.
Yeah, see, I would have been all good. Yeah, exactly. I
He said,
just
if
fucking
you
hang
if
my
you think of
titties out, you
spam
would've
as
been
a
like,
Sunday night
Oh,
dinner,
man.
running.
you're not invited. Is what he
came
just
running.
said.
I know.
Wow.
He's looking for that booty.
It's
That's
bullshit.
what-
It's such bullshit.
Anyway, I'm
That's
just messing
sexist.
with you, man.
Yeah.
Just let
I
me know
know.
if you want to come on to the show, Dark. I'll let you come on, man. It's no big deal, bro. I just
like-
have to.
I
I just
like
got to tell
red
everybody they
carpet
got to
to be
hide
thrown out,
everything.
Okay, I want to be asked. All right, I don't
You
want to
wanna
be
be-
freaking. I
He
don't want
wants
to be
to be
like
romance,
freaking.
man.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly. I want to be.
That's what he tells me on my
Pampered.
OnlyFans shows when he asks for exclusive videos. He's like,
What he say?
Wow.
What does he ask for?
he has to be romance and love.
Exactly.
Ooh, you're not getting that
Fred's
from
got it
me.
right.
So, you know what? You're not getting romance from me.
He's
You know what I'm
like,
saying,
pull it
so-
out slow for me, daddy. Pull it out slow. For
Wow.
Me.
See, and I didn't even bring the sound
Wow.
effect. I didn't bring no sound effects tonight. And I, you know what I'm saying?
You don't need him with Fred.
Hey, baby,
You
how
don't
do you
need
say?
But you
Chris,
better
you
hit that
scare
button.
me if you talk like that. during
I
Jack.
know.
What do you think this is, Predator? You think this is a game?
Oh, my
You think this is a
God.
fucking game?
This went so far left, it did a 360, went back into the same lane. Bro.
I have no idea
Well,
what's going on.
XS6 tricky, bro. Come on, you gotta do 360 multiple times. Let's go.
Oh yeah, yo! Shout out to the spiritual successor in development right now. I cannot
I
wait.
know. I
can't
cannot
wait
wait.
to see. I can't wait to see
Dude,
King
I'm
Mega fall on his
amped
ass
for it,
multiple
dude.
times in gameplay.
Oh, he
bro.
said, did you get that? He said, I'm amped for it.
Oh my goodness! And
If they
guys,
brought back amped, oh shit, dude, it'd be over.
Guys,
I would fucking drop my PlayStation and fucking
All right, hey,
lake.
we're trying to end the show. Let's go.
guys, on that note, it is time to wind it down. Again, shout out to the chat. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Make sure you tune in next Thursday. As you can see, you don't know when the show is going to go left. And when it does go left, everybody on the panel just starts feeding off each other. Another awesome show. Season 4. We're on season 4 right now, man. I got to say,
I'm approaching season 4 here pretty soon. That's unbelievable.
well, our first season took like 3 years. Like
How long has Next been on, man? I have no clue.
Since what 20? I want to say 2015, 2016.
2015, 2016. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
All right,
at
yeah.
least 2016 because I remember gameplay.
Yeah, because I thought you was about 2 years in before I started GRG. So
I think it was 2016. The first gameplay that was shown on this show, and this would be a trivia question down the road for any
But
giveaways.
no one cares.
Was Doom.
Jesus.
Was Doom 2016. So yeah, 2016, bro.
woo, it's been a
Damn.
minute.
We've been around, brother. We've been around.
around.
And certain panel members are expendable because we have gone through a couple. I just want to let Dark know that.
Man.
I was looking around like, fuck, that might be me.
No, Pred, I'm trying to hang on to you as long as I can, man. You're a diamond in the rough, bro. You're definitely a diamond in the rough.
He
but-
just wanted to say he was the
thing is
The rest of you
that-
motherfuckers are done.
Everybody
is that
else,
there's
on
no
the other
room
hand.
for Latinos on this podcast. That's what Bot's saying.
Damn, you trying to bring it
Yeah.
down. Trying to
Hey,
bring
man,
it
why
down.
you trying to bring your Latino heritage out now?
He was white 5 hours ago, right?
Yeah, he was white at the beginning of the show. Hello, guys, how you doing?
Hey,
mayonnaise, cottage
how you guys
cheese.
doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, hey.
Manja.
Now he's like, listen, essay.
man.
I'm gonna take your shit no.
Right now, he over here acting like he was one of those extras on Colors. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Oh my god.
Don't come like this, Sam. Stop.
What's up with that?
Colors, man. Man, a lot of people don't know what that movie is, Mega.
Oh, I forgot. Hey, man, go look up the
that's
movie
funny
Colors.
part, dude.
Yeah.
Look
that
up
was
that movie. Look
That
up
was
that
my-
movie. Look up Kids. Remember Kids?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
Kids was
yeah.
fucked up, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Yo, okay, we are definitely going out. Yo,
We're out of here.
thank you,
No.
chat. Again, tune in next Thursday for the next podcast. Yo, guys, have a great night, everybody.
Peace.
Laters.
This is
2-1
Steve
Holmes.
Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to next podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.